Hello, hello. How is everybody today? I'm doing pretty good. I've been busy as a bee in a bonnet today. It's like 2 o'clock. Dale just got home. He went, he had a hard morning. Let me tell you, afternoon, I guess. He went to lunch with his friend, um, and they decided no tacos because nobody's eating green stuff right now, apparently. You know, if you know, you know. If you don't, look it up. You know, the the thing that's going around, the parasite. So his friend was like, "Nah, I don't want to have tacos. I can't have onions and cilantro and stuff right now, so no tacos." So Dale went to a place called Olympic Broil. Greasiest burgery stuff you've ever had in your life. I'm telling you, it's just, I mean, it's okay to have once in a while, but it's just like, okay. Anyhow, he got some Olympic broil burgers and stuff, and I don't know what else they had, and then Dale made a big trip to Menards, had to get water filters for our whole house water filtration system. We tried to get some the other day, and they were like, "Oh, we're out. I think we're getting those in maybe tomorrow or something." He's like, "Well, that doesn't help me right now." So, other than that, I don't know what else he did. He's been gone for hours, but uh, lunch was at noon. It's 2 o'clock now. What, he spent 2 hours at Menards? I don't know, maybe. Oh boy. Well, he had a good time, whatever he did. So he walked in and I talked to him for a few minutes, and then he's like, "Is it time for a nap?" And I'm like, "Oh, I suppose it could be." And he goes, "Yep, it's time for a nap." Next thing I know, he goes, "Come on, kitty, let's go. We're taking a nap." I don't know which kitty it is, but some kitty's going with Dale to go take a nap. I'm like, okay. Oh boy, he's funny. I have recorded one video, a little short little thing, another video. I recorded Smashing the Specials today. I had to get Smashing the Special info out because it's coming up very, very fast. So I had a whole tote of stuff downstairs, and I thought I would just pull it out and do that. Well, most of the stuff in that tote was Eastery, springy, Valentine, and I'm like, that's not how I do things. I plan ahead for the next season, right? What is the next holiday coming up? So, I mean, we've got fall, we've got Halloween, we've got Christmas. That's all coming up. And so I'm like, well, all the things I showed in the video, or most of the things I showed in the video, are things I just put back in the tote. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do those this time. So I find myself in this quandary. Do I go downstairs and start going through my special drill projects and looking for those, the upcoming holiday items? I thought about it. I said, I need to go record my WIP and chat. However, I have all that stuff organized because remember when the basement got some water in it, I pulled all that stuff out of the closet, went through it all, organized all of it, and even took out a bunch of stuff that I'm just like, okay, I've got to get rid of some of it. This has got to go. This has got to go. This can go, that kind of thing. Well, I went down there, and that's where it started. That's where it started. You know that there's always a start, and sometimes it just morphs into something else. Well, it morphed today. It definitely morphed. So as I was going through the little totes I had and things like that, looking for more fall winter projects, I was like, well, since I have them out, I might as well leave them out of the closet because that's the next thing on my agenda is to do a complete switcheroo. All of my totes of books that I've read have been living in the closet. all of my yarn has been stuffed over in this little corner beside my diamond painting shelf. So the stack is high over there of yarn. I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 totes and a couple of boxes, and it's hard to get into my yarn. So I've decided I don't get into the books that I've read. I don't get into those. They can be stowed away somewhere. They can be stacked high. I'm not going to need to be getting them down. So let's switch these around. Let's switch them around. So here I am today, and I am down there. Since I had the special drill stuff out of the closet, I just kept going. And I pulled out, I have some stand-up snowmen and stand-up gnomes that live in the closet as well. I just missed a whole bunch of E's right there. Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Yep, like 3 of them. How did I miss 3? Well, because these colors are really faded, I will just say they're very faded. This painting has been around a long time. It's been exposed to sunlight and stuff like that. The colors on the canvas are very faded. Change colors even sometimes. Anyhow, so I took out things out of the closet and I hauled out the crates, the totes of books. I rearranged the closet a little bit, put some stuff in the back corner that, I'm not going to get into. That was kind of more front and center in the closet. I'm like, no, you can go back there. We don't get into you. We don't need to, It's like a box of pictures and picture frames and just, some random things. My Barbies, my Barbies down there. Yep, I have a little Rubbermaid tote of Barbies, believe it or not. Anyhow, so I put all that stuff in the corner, headed all of the totes of books over where the yarn was, took all the totes of yarn out. I'm like, okay, I got that far. I got 2 totes of books into the little corner where the yarn used to be. And I'm like, I can't do another one. I cannot physically lift another one because now we're going up 3 high. I can't do it. I'm surprised I got 2. That second one, I don't know what was in that second tote. I feel like it contained bricks or something. It was heavy. It must have had like a lot of like hardcover books in it. It was heavy. But I got it up there. I did it. Dale's gonna have to help me with the other 2 because that is not even square. That's like a diamond. I cannot possibly get those other 2 up high. So I will need help. So currently I left things in a state of, I got 2 totes of books stuffed in their little corner there. I got 2 totes of books waiting to go in the corner. All the yarn is sitting everywhere. The totes are all over. And the special drill stuff is still out of the closet. But the closet, oh my gosh, the closet floor has all this space. It's got a lot of space. I'm going to be able to, stack totes, maybe a couple high. I did buy one more large tote because I thought if I could combine some of these smaller little totes I have of yarn, that would be wonderful, right? Have just 3 or 4 large totes, and maybe they can just be 2 high in the closet. That'd be awesome. But then I also have these smaller Rubbermaid totes that have yarn in them, which I would like to empty out a couple of them and use them for my craft show stuff. Because right now I have at least 2 boxes of craft show stuff that are just in cardboard boxes. And these smaller totes are perfect for the craft shows. They fit in the truck nicely. The paper boxes, they're starting to fall apart. It's time to put them in some Rubbermaid totes. So this is all going to work. It's all going to work great. It's just a matter of move this to move that. To organize this, I have to do this. You know what I mean? It's one of those, I have to make messes to make things better. So that's where we're at. And since I have all the yarn out, since I'm having it all out, and I'm going to be kind of going through it a little bit, I want to inventory it. I mean, I can't use up stash if I don't know exactly what I have, right? I mean, memory only goes so far. Sometimes I'm like, I know I had, maybe like some care on Simply Soft, or I know I have more care on cakes, or I know I have a bunch of stuff I bought at Joann's when Joann's was going out of business, that kind of stuff. But without really knowing exactly what's there, it's hard to just go pull something for a project. It dropped in my lap and I found it. To use up what I have downstairs. So as I'm putting this yarn back in the closet, I'm going to go through it all. I'm going to personally touch all of it. I'm going to, for now, just write it down. Write it down in a notebook so I know what's there. As I kind of go through it all, a lot of it's organized and probably won't really change. Like my big tote plush yarn, although that has overflowed its tote. I have more than one tote now. Yeah. But I want to get it all written down. I don't know if I'll be able to be all fancy and put it all in a nice spreadsheet that gives me totals and all that kind of stuff. That's maybe above my pay grade. But I'll at least have it on paper and I'll know what I have, Like all of my books are inventoried. All of them are inventoried. Oh man, I keep missing things. They're hard to find, some of these symbols. They just, because of the fading in them. Anyhow, all of the totes have an envelope in them, like a file folder zip up plastic envelope with a sheet of paper in it that states all the books in that tote. So before I ever put them away in the tote, I wrote them down. I write them down on a piece of paper so I know what's in there. So we were talking about this yesterday, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, my lunch with my friends. But we're talking about that, how so many of us have so many books that we have read. We're all teachers. We're all big readers, all of that. And we have just tons of books that we have read because most of us really, really, really like physical books, We're not much into, like Kindle, e-readers, all that stuff. We like our physical books. I mean, we're teachers. Come on. What teacher do you know that doesn't like books? Find one for me, okay? Find me a teacher that doesn't like books. So, yeah, get it all organized, get everything written down, and I'll know what I have. I'll know what's what. I'll know where it's at, okay? And if it never makes it into a spreadsheet, that's fine with me. I'm good with paper and pencil. I don't need something with all the fancy charts and graphs. And I mean, I suppose if you're using up your stuff, it's easy to go into a spreadsheet when you use something, and take it out or move it to a used column or something. But I can kind of simulate the whole thing on paper, because I really don't know how to make spreadsheets. I will tell everybody that I don't know how to make a spreadsheet. I've never made one, which many people think is strange, being a teacher, that I never made a spreadsheet, but I've never made one. I've had to put information in them before, like in a created spreadsheet that was already there and created by somebody. I can input information, but that's as far as it goes. So anyhow, that's what I did today. Great fun. So now I'm at that phase where I'm like, it's a mess, It's not a horrible mess because it's just totes at this point, but it's definitely something I'm going to get back to. If not today, it's definitely going to be maybe a tomorrow project. Hey, but I did find the, like the plushy yarns. I had thought I wasn't going to be using them, so I put them, just because of the size of the tote, really, was the only reason. It was the largest tote, so they got shoved to the bottom of the pile. Well, now I want them. So we're going to make them more accessible. And I can work on some fun little projects. Maybe even get 1 or 2 things done before the craft show Saturday. Because, I mean, today is Tuesday. I've got time. Because the yarn is totally accessible. I can go down there right now and grab some. Yep. So, wish me luck with that project. I might have to go film the mess, even though I didn't film the start of the whole project. But I can still go do a little filming of some of the stuff I'm doing, show some of the totes and what's in them, stuff like that. I mean, it's not going to be a whole, it won't be like a whole video of reorganizing, but maybe just a few clips here and there. We'll see how it goes. All right. What else? Like I said, went to lunch with my friends yesterday. We met at our one friend's house. She is, I don't know when they got married, a year ago maybe they got married. Her husband passed away a few years back, and she wasn't really interested in dating and things, but just by chance met a friend of a friend, and they liked each other. And I think she said yesterday, it's been 5 years. They've just been kind of dating and whatnot. Well, dating and then married. So, like, like all good, relationships that are a new relationship, but you had a different relationship before, comes with a lot of things. Sorry, had to have a drink. There's something in my throat, too. All right. You both have your own home. That's one thing. You both have a home. You both have stuff. You both have, family, children, things like that. So there's a lot that you have to go through to blend, when you're remarrying, and you've both had your own independent life for a period of time. It's an interesting thing. So, like them, for example, they each had their own house. I think he sold one first, his first, was living with her. They were going to move up to the UP somewhere. They were building a house. So they were waiting to sell her house until that house was built. And then along the way, they decided they didn't want to move up there to that house. They had family here. They were enjoying their life around here, and they wanted to stay here. So as soon as that house was finished, they put it on the market and sold it. So that's 2 houses down. And then, they're living in her home that she lived in with her husband, for many years, lived there with her previous husband. And so now they're like, okay, we want our own place. And I get that, that's what Dale and I did too. So they found a place, they started looking, put her house on the market, her house sold, they got the new house, everything's great. So we got to go to her new house. Anyhow, to make a long story short, or a short story long, we got to go to her new house and, have lunch there. And it's, it's a very nice house. They've done well for themselves. It's very nice. She's a wonderful decorator, great hostess. She put on a nice lunch for us. We didn't have to bring a thing if we didn't want to, but a few of us did. And we just enjoyed each other's company for about 4.5 hours because, we never have a short lunch. Never when we get together do we have a short little quick lunch. That's just unheard of. So, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, we talk about everything. We talk about our kids, your kids, their kids. You know, everybody talks about their kids and relationships and what they've been doing and, you know, vacations and places they've been. And, you know, just there's so much. That's how we can talk for 4.5 hours, you know. And again, we're all teachers. We talk. That's what we do. We've done that, you know, a good portion of our life. So yeah. And usually one of us has something going on in their life that's, you know, not quite like a happy situation, and, you know, have things they want to get off their chest, and just, you know, we're good people to vent to. And that usually happens with somebody. And it did yesterday. Somebody just had a situation going on with a family member, and they just wanted to vent and let it all out. And, you know, we're there. We're not judging. We're there for them. And that, you know, it's a great group of friends. I am blessed to have them. I wish we could get together more often, of course, but, you know, cherish every minute that we have together, you know. So, yeah, that was that. What else has been going on? Well, let's see. Over the weekend on Saturday, we had our family July birthday celebrations, which is Devin and Josh, and everybody came. It was just, I think I talked about it on Saturday during my live a little bit. It was easy. It was just like, first of all, you know, we had such a hard time making arrangements for like our June people, our June birthdays. It was like pulling teeth. Well, at that point in June, Josh was like, all right, I'm just putting it out there right now. July 18th is my birthday. And I know Devin's birthday is like the next couple days. I'm going to be at my mom's house on the 18th. Whoever can be there, be there. Okay. So all I did was I just checked in with uh, my kids, and I said, what time do you want to do this on Saturday? And we came up with a time. I posted it in our family chat, and miraculously, my sister comes back and says, we'll be there. I didn't hear from my niece. That was the weird thing. I didn't hear from her. I didn't know if she was going to be here until like the day of. And I'm busy. I'm busy. Okay. I'm making taco meat. Yes, we had lettuce. Yes, we did. um, just in case you're wondering. Um, I hadn't heard from her. And I hadn't been looking at my phone either because, like I said, I'm cooking and doing this and, you know, all the things you have to do. And apparently she had posted in the group chat, like, we'll be a little bit late. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know she was coming. You know, I did not know she was coming. I'm glad she did. Her and her husband could make it. They just had like horse stuff going on that morning because she has a horse, she boards and that kind of stuff. So, but everybody made it. And then Dale had invited his daughter and the grandkids over, and they came. So it was pretty much everybody in my family, local, that could come was here. You know, I do have another niece. Yes, I do. But, you know, we don't communicate. So, um, yeah. Other family is all out of the state. Thirsty, thirsty, thirsty. All right. Um, but, you know, we had fun. Dale's daughter and the kids, well, the boys mainly, they were outside most of the time, just outside playing. The boys love to just run around in the woods. They got Uncle Josh to play hide and seek with them, and And then it was warm, so next thing you know, they've got out a sprinkler, and then they've got out some big creature that we're all inside trying to figure out what it was. Somebody said it was a llama, and then somebody's like, no, that's a unicorn because, well, look at that phallic object on its forehead. It really was. But anyhow, and of course, I thought this had happened another year where water stuff came out and Jackson can't do that stuff. He can't slip and slide because he can't, like, fall on his belly. He can go in water because he's been in a pool, as we know, but it takes preparation. It takes, they have to do stuff with the catheter. They have to get it ready so that it's covered and all that kind of stuff before he can actually do stuff like that. And they were not prepared for that, you know. But I will say he handled it well. Yes, he looked out there and he saw the boys out there playing in all this water stuff. And he was like, man. And that was really the extent to it, was man. But the cool thing was, the one girl, the granddaughter, stayed inside with Jackson and Josh, and they were working on their story. If you know about their story, you know about their story. So they were having fun with Uncle Josh, just working on the story of, I think it's 6, 7, and that's Jackson in the story. 6, 7. Josh is in the story. He's something else. I don't remember, but they just sat and did stuff like that and created stuff. And they did that for a long time. So he was fine. He was happy to do that. And she stayed in for quite a while. She did go out for a little bit at the end, but everything was good. Everything was fine. It all worked, and yeah. So it was a nice day. They were here. I mean, I didn't have a time limit. I didn't say you got to leave at a certain time, but they were here. Everybody from like 1 o'clock to right before my live at 7. I know. I finally had to just say to everybody, I'm like, okay, people, I am going into my office. I'm closing the door. I have my live tonight. And they were like, okay. Well, I got kids in the house at that point running around yelling and carrying on. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be great. But, I guess they all kind of just took that as a clue to, well, I guess it's a good time to head on out. We've been here most of the day and we'll just head on out. If you're in my live, I think Jackson came in and said goodbye. Well, Shannon and Jackson did. Josh came in and said goodbye. And, my sister had already gone at that point, but, it worked. It worked. It was a nice afternoon. And so far, I don't know of anybody having any adverse reactions to the lettuce. We did what they suggested. They're suggesting to not get any bagged vegetables, any bagged salads, bagged lettuce, things like that. If you're going to have lettuce, just get a head of lettuce. It's your best option. So that's what we did. And so far, I mean, it's only been a few days, but so far I haven't heard of anybody, I gave them all the option. They could eat it or not eat it. Man, the crazy things that happen sometimes in this world, that's one of them. It's like, where does that just all of a sudden pop up from? We got a parasite and we're not certain where it's coming from, but we think we know where it's coming from. They even said they thought they knew where it was coming from. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, maybe not. Well, I don't know. I tend to believe that, the first answer was probably fairly correct, and they're retracting it now because, I don't know, makes the company look bad, I guess. I don't know, but It's a strange thing. Strange thing. And, Saturday it had rained, like Friday night, it had rained a little bit. And it kind of really cleared up a lot of the smoke that we had. Is this the right? Nope, that's a left hammer. I need a right hammer. Where's the right hammer? I've looked through these drills once. Right facing hammer. There it is. Right facing hammer. Right facing hammer. I knew the other one wasn't correct when I saw what color the drills were. I'm like, no, this is in an orangey red area. That would not be right. I think it was blue or green or something. So, yeah, smashing the specials. I mean, it's getting ready to start, folks. I hope you have some. I did put out my video on Tuesday, which is today for me, about smashing the specials and how you join and some simple basic rules. Brandy and I've been doing this for a long time, and it's kind of just second nature for us now. So nothing's changed. It's simple. It's easy. You post pictures of things you've completed for smashing the specials. They have to be special drill, off canvas projects. You know the drill. How I get it. You know the drill. And if you don't, and you have any questions, feel free to ask one of us, and we will help you out. Also, people in my Facebook group are wonderful. They are wonderful. They are there to answer questions. They answer questions. And there's some very knowledgeable people in the Facebook group, so yeah, I'm thankful that they do that. If they see somebody that's had a question and I haven't answered it or whatnot, they'll jump in and they'll guide people. And I'm like, thank you. Just thank you. Because, I don't see it all, that's for sure. But getting ready for that. That'll be super exciting. Super exciting. I love smashing the specials. I'm always ready when smashing the specials comes around to just work on some small things. I am always like, yeah, it's time. Let's work on small stuff, because we work on these big canvases and whatnot. And sometimes it's just nice to not work on a large painting. I feel very accomplished when I get little things done. I've done one this month. One little thing, little Santa in a snow globe. I got from Hobby Lobby. Got that finished this month. That took me a few days. There was a lot of drills on that thing, but it's cute. It's all put together. It's super cute. So I'm looking forward to doing more things like that. I have a ukulele screaming my name. If you remember the ukulele, yep, I have a ukulele to put drills on, to diamond paint. And I'm super excited to do it. Ukulele. Did you hear that? The drill sounded different there because they were rolling across the tray. Yeah, this is like I don't know how many colors are doing it, but several of the colors have drills that are stuck together. So they're just like little balls rolling around in my tray when I try to shake my tray. I just let all the little balls roll to the side. And if I need them at some point, then I will worry about breaking them apart when I need them. But currently, we're good. I don't need them. Don't need them. So I'm not worrying about it. But yeah, there's just lots of little stuck together drills. Maybe it's only a few colors. I've just reused them, so it feels like it's more than a couple, but I don't know. I didn't stop and keep track and count. So, but I'm excited to be making some really good progress on this. So I don't know how much you can see in the camera, and I can't really tell right now. You can't get all the way over here. But I was way over here in the top part of the chair is where I started the other day. So I've done most of this. There was a little bit of the sky done here, but I did like all of this part here. And then I'm working on this coming up this way. And there's one more release paper here to do. I have this kind of covered up, which was bad on my part because I just did all those colors right there. I just did E and X and 3. I did those right there. Oh well, it's okay. We'll get them out again, and then we'll do them down here. Okay, that's fine. Well, let me put it this way for now. I'm trying to just finish that red right there. Red, 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 red. I'm making a bush or something. I don't know. Trees, bushes in the background, I think. And part of this down here is a butterfly. I didn't realize it, but this right here is a butterfly. This is the bush. This is the butterfly. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. Today's what? The 21st. Yes, because yesterday was Devin's birthday. So that makes today the 21st. So I've got a few days left to work on this. I keep telling myself I'm not taking it off this table till it's done. Even if it's August and I'm working on smashing the specials. I don't know. I don't know how I could get much done that way, but I want this finished. So, I mean, there is this paper right here, and then there's a whole row. There is a whole another row to go. So, we'll do our best. We will plug along, and we'll see how it goes. Because that would be 2 paintings finished in the month. Neither one of them had a lot to do. This one has more than the other one, but I finished the other one pretty quickly. I still have a post review for that. I'm going to show you at some point when I'm not posting things that have to go out, like, you know, special Smashing the Specials announcement video had to go first. So maybe tomorrow you'll get that, a little review. I don't know. Sometimes things have to be done at a certain time, and other times you can wing it, you know? Anyhow, you know what I should work on? I should pull out like the little wooden Christmas in July, little wooden stand things I have. I should do that. Okay. That's wrong. It's not that one. This is a bracket. A bracket. There's one that goes left. There's one that goes right. I just used one of the brackets. But now I need the other bracket that goes the other way. And I don't know where it's at. And I don't know where it's at. Bracket, bracket, bracket. Bracket, bracket, bracket. It's not that one. I just did that one. Not that one. There's another one somewhere. Where's it hiding? It's right here. It's right there. It's that one. It's that one. It's blue. Why is it blue? Why is it blue? Because those are wrong. Those reds and those reds are wrong. They should not be there. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Well, the brackets got me. The brackets got me. Yeah, they're a darker blue than the sail. Hang on, how much darker blue are they than the sail? Are they a lighter blue? What do we got going on here? Let us see. Let us just put a couple next to the blue here. What do they look like? They look like the same color as that. Hang on. This is silly, isn't it? This is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. No, they're darker. Okay. Yep. Okay. So just move it. Just move out of my way. Move over here and hang out while I take out these red ones. And it means those are wrong too. Lottie, dotty, doody dee. And these are going to be wrong too. All that red is wrong. Left facing bracket, right facing bracket. Got me, got me, got me, got me. Okay, well, okay. I am going to let you go, and I am going to start taking off the reds that aren't supposed to be there. Yay, fun, fun. All right. Okay, I will talk to everybody later. Now that I found that out, I'm super excited about that. That sounds like a blast. I wondered why it had red, and I don't know. Thought it was just a style for the sale. Okay. All right, let me fix my error. And you guys have a great day. Wish me luck. Okay. I will talk to everybody later. Bye.